Good Shabbos, everyone. So the new year has just begun, but I can already tell you who will be the biggest liar of 2023. Congressman George Santos. As many of you know, after he was elected as a new freshman congressman from New York, many things came out about his background. He told so many lies, I couldn't even memorize the lies he told. So I've got my list here. First, he was accused during the campaign of lying about going to an exclusive New York City prep school. He did not. He lied about graduating from 2 elite colleges. We're not even sure he graduated college. He lied about working for Citigroup and Goldman Sachs. I'm not even sure Goldman Sachs and Citigroup would even offer him a credit card. He lied about owning rental properties. He owned none. It turned out he was thousands of dollars in debt. He even had the gall to lie that his mother was killed on 9/11 when she actually passed away in 2016. If those weren't bad enough, he also, as many of you know, lied that his grandparents, who actually were born in Brazil, actually fled Europe and escaped the Holocaust. Not true. And of course, from that lie, he lied about being Jewish. Now, when it came out after the election, after he won, that he was lying about being Jewish, he was confronted. How could you lie, make all these things up, and especially lie about your own religion? And he actually said, no, you got me all wrong. I didn't say I was Jewish. I said I was Jew-ish. I said I was Jew-ish because I had a lot of friends who were Jewish. And I identify with the Jewish people, and I love the state of Israel. Now, some may say, Rabbi, what's wrong with that? You know, anti-Semitism was up this past year. We know about all the things that happened this past year. Rabbi, if someone wants to identify as a Jew, let him identify as a Jew. Why would you be so upset that someone who claimed to be Jewish was lying? You may remember years ago when comedian Seth Meyers came here to Houston and spoke at the Smart Financial Center in Sugar Land. And it was a great night. And he actually was really funny. Sometimes you bring these comedians in and they're not so great. He actually was terrific that night. And I remember one of the funny jokes he told was when he said, you know, I'm married to someone who's Jewish. I have a lot of Jewish friends. I'm Jew-ish. And we laughed. It was clearly a joke. But what George Santos did was not a joke. He was claiming to be Jewish so he could garner more Jewish votes. He can appear like a minority, an oppressed minority, so he can gain sympathy from voters in New York. He clearly was using the lie that he was Jewish to simply win an election. But there's something even more upsetting about what George Santos did by lying, by saying that he was Jewish. It takes that term. It takes something that's very serious, and it turns it into something that's not so serious. What do I mean by that? I take a lot of pride in the fact that we here at Beth Yeshurun, I believe, do a good job welcoming the intermarried couples in our congregation who one spouse may be Jewish and one isn't, but they still want to raise their children as Jews. In fact, now going back many years to my predecessor, Rabbi Rosen, Beth Yeshurun was one of the first major conservative synagogues in the United States to welcome the non-Jewish spouse to Beth Yeshurun, as long as together they promised to raise their children as Jews. I'm proud of the fact that we have dozens of intermarried couples here at Beth Yeshurun. Some send their kids to our religious school, some to our day school. We've had many B'nai Mitzvah. In fact, the last 2 brises that I've done, one this morning and one a week ago, were for intermarried couples. The moms were Jewish and the dads weren't. But those couples together have decided to raise their children as Jews. I'm proud of the fact that we welcome intermarried couples. And I always tell the non-Jewish spouse, of course, we'd love for you to convert. That's the ideal. But if you're not ready, or you decide never to convert, I understand. I'm just proud of the fact that you are going to join your Jewish spouse in raising your child as a Jew. Because it goes back to the idea that if we shut ourselves down and we don't welcome the non-Jewish fiancé or the non-Jewish spouse to Beth Yeshurun, then why would that non-Jewish spouse ever choose Judaism? But the more welcoming we are, the more doors we open, then there's a greater chance that that non-Jewish spouse may convert one day, and if not, at least help raise their child, their son or daughter, as a proud Jew. I've seen it happen many times in my years as a rabbi, and I'm proud of the fact that happens here at Beth Yeshurun. But what I also always tell the non-Jewish spouse is that unless you convert, you're not Jewish. You may be a friend of the Jewish people. You may be a very proud parent who's raising Jews, but you can't call yourself a Jew unless you go through a serious conversion program. And as I've said many times, I'm very proud of the fact that my colleague Rabbi Morgan really leads the best conversion program, I believe, in the United States. Every year converting 20 to 30 people every single year. And these people that convert, some of you here tonight, many of you know our converts, turn out to be some of our best members because it's a serious 9 months of study every week, learning with Rabbi Morgan, learning with his wife, Cantor Diane Dorff, coming to shul, celebrating the holidays. They earn that term, they earn that identity to call themselves a Jew. And so when someone like George Santos uses the term Jewish in such a way, I believe it cheapens the term. It shows a lot of disrespect, especially for the people that have chosen Judaism, who've chosen through a lot of hard work and serious commitment to call themselves Jewish. I want to end with some words from a writer, Mark Oppenheimer, in the New York Times, who wrote a beautiful and I think very important editorial about what George Santos attempted to do with his lie. He writes, "If you do want to apply to the Jewish people or be accepted as a member of the Jewish community, then there are many ways in, but all of them involve being serious, not optimistic, caring not just about your DNA or ancestry, but about being a part of the living community of Jewish people. And for those who feel Jewish, either because they had lots of Jewish friends in college or because they discovered a Jewish great-great-great-great-grandparent, even though every relative since the Civil War has been Christian, maybe keep quiet about it. Or just say you're a friend of the Jews, because we do need friends who aren't Jewish. You could even found an organization like Friends of Jews United, which, like Friends of Pets United, a group Santos also claimed to start, may not exist yet, but definitely should. Yes, my friends, thank God here in this country, there are people who choose to be Jewish, and there are many people that choose to be friends of Jewish people. Yes, we should welcome all people to our community, but we expect all people to respect the term Jewish. And for those who are Jewish, be our friends, but don't be like George Santos and claim to be Jewish. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.